us to understand language distinctions, reach cultural divides, and compare diverse literature that reflects the evolving human experience. In this context, we are really happy and excited to welcome you all to the International Conference on Reaching Cultural Advanced Discourse in Translation, Culture, and Comparative Literature. This is your host, Shushmita Shukra, and for the first time, the Department of English, City University, and Ideas, an international journal of arts, science, and culture, and such an international conference on the two places, and we are committed to ensuring the continuation of this journey. Today is the second day of this enlightenment.
Sir, on here.
These conference on Bangladesh's academic community is significant, offering local scholars and students the chance to engage with global leaders, network with international researchers, and present their work to a wider audience. Its effects will resonate beyond the even foster new ideas and close academic institutions nationwide. The exchange of ideas between local and international academics may lead to new research collaborations and the development of innovative programs in translation studies and comparative literature. For Bangladeshi students, this is a unique opportunity to experience global research, trends, and methodologies without leaving the country. Today we're excited to have five plenary sessions featuring 13 plenary speeches and papers, along with 9 parallel sessions where speeches and abstracts will be shared. We look forward to an engaging and insightful exchange of knowledge throughout this event. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Plenary Session 3. We are delighted to have you join us for this dignitary session. The session will be chaired by Ms. Nusrat Ali, Head of Communications and Public Engagement UNESCO. Nusrat has over 50 years of experience in international development and communications, making her a prominent figure in Bangladesh development sector. We look forward to an engaging and insightful discussions. Please join me in welcoming both our chair and the panel speakers. May I now request Ms. Mustaqani to please come up on stage and take her seat to begin the session. We are now ready to hear from our esteemed panel speakers. First, please join me in welcoming Dr. M.D. Mondur Jaman, Professor at the Department of English, Jahannagar University, Bangladesh. Who will be presenting on ESL Education 4.0 in Bangladesh, teacher perception and proficiency. He is also a former chairman of the Department of English at Jahannagar University, Bangladesh, Vice President of English Teachers Association of Bangladesh, former IELTS speaking examiner, global professional member of ISU International Association, and associate member of IAPAFL. Now we are honored to have Shahnaz Parveen, Assistant Professor, English Studies, State University, Bangladesh, and PhD in Cultural Philosophy, who is presenting on Nexus of Loss and Gain in Transmitting Memory, Traumatized Memory, and Memory Trauma in Partition Liberation, a comparative study of Gautam Mantu and Hall. Let's invite the speakers to come on stage and
लाइटर करो है मैम ऑफ कर दें
Thank you so much. It's really a great pleasure to be here in this conference and seeing so many faces and enthusiasts and academic speakers who are really interested to listen to all the presentations. And definitely I'm very honored to be here today, and especially more honored in a way because I'm going to share a session where my own professor and also my thesis supervisor it's kind of like it's like a very, very respectful moment for me to be here with that. So I think without any further delay, we are going to start the session. And I would like to request Dr. Morir Jamasar, Professor, Department of English and Innova University, Bangladesh, to start his presentation. Are you ready with the slides? Okay. So we are going to the dance, right? Okay, yes, sir. Just before starting, the session modality is that the presentation time is for 15 minutes. After that, 10 minutes. 25 minutes presentation time. So after that, we will open the floor for 5 minutes if you have any questions. So and then we can go for a discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. I really feel honored to have been invited to this university, City University. And special thanks go to the Compa of the organizing committee, Dr. Sorry, I can't remember the full name because of my age limitation. Okay, let's have a look at the title of my presentation, English Education, World, Our Father, in Bangladesh, Teacher, Perception, and Proficiency. So, this is here I'm sharing our study research work with you, and this is concerned with basically teachers, English language teachers. And here we have got two key phrases. Number one, English language teachers in Bangladesh. Number two, English education 4.1 is directly related to the fourth industrial revolution. And first of all, let's try to have some ideas about the fourth industrial revolution. As you know, I'm Mr. Mario, already know my name. I'm from the Department of English, Jamnagar University. So here, on this slide, you have ideas about the fourth industrial revolution. Yeah. It's built on cyber physical systems and manufacturing cooperation at the onset of the 21st century. Now we are in the 21st century. It's a century of challenges and innovation. It's revolution. It's a revolution. It's a movement. It's an advancement in manufacturing, digitalization, driven by increased, number one, increased data volume, computing power, and connectivity. Number two, the emergence of analysis, ability, and business intelligence. Number three, the occurrence of new forms of interaction between humans and machines, especially artificial intelligence. And finally, digital transfer instructions to the physical world, such as robotics and 3D printing. Next, Industrial Revolution, Industrial Revolution 4.1, being a trend of automation and digitalization of industries has impacted all the aspects of life, including English language education. So in today's presentation, my focus is on the fourth industrial revolution, and English education. English education includes English language teaching and English language learning. And the teacher has to work on both the aspects, teaching as well as learning. Then, English language education 2.4.0 is a new curriculum in an educational setting or context in which the whole process of information and creativity and languages that use information, computers, the internet, and technology. Basically, this conference is concerned with culture, really, culture, and the culture isn't beyond technology. And traditionally, language teacher needs two kinds of knowledge. Number one, subject knowledge, and number two, pedagogical knowledge. But in the 21st century, an English teacher has to have three types of knowledge. Subject knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, as well as technological knowledge. Without technology, now an English teacher is a teacher. So technology is very much important. That's why this presentation is relevant to today's conference theme. From now on, the application of high technology in teaching and learning has become an unavoidable part of effective and successful English language teaching and learning. English language education 4.0 embodies the concept of learning between and demands that these learners, tourist workers, will be highly trained in emerging technology and preparing interdisciplinary skills that will allow them to develop reflective thinking and adjustment capability. Therefore, in the fourth industrial education, English language teachers need to have deep time planning roles to succeed learners in learning and equip learners with capacity for reading and working through and within the rapid change in technology and industry. Industry means basically different marketplaces. Market.
Yes, case to this field.
English language teachers have to plan some effective acquisition strategies, including part language skills knowledge, increasing of digital helps them integrate technology during the lesson that improve technology, interactive, wearable, virtual reality, and etc. To interactive technology, including online quizzes, video conferencing, video, Zoom, meeting, etc. And reportable technologies, including smartphones, tablets, and high-mounted displays. For both English language teachers and learners, technology normally now computers, tablets, smartphones, and the internet in many contexts. The objective of my study. The current study was designed from the teacher's perception of and proficiency in peer education 4.0 and the tertiary level in Bangladesh. And you see here, I reviewed some literature. It means that I reviewed some relevant existing studies to find out research gaps and research shortcomings. Here I have mentioned some studies. I'm not reading out all the studies. You can have a look at the studies. Number one, successful implementation of educational technology initiates reform for mindsets and position of teachers who eventually determine how it's used outside as well as online. Really, it comes of five levels of education. Technology that support is language education. Number one, critical level. Number two, management level. Number three, application level. Number four, research level. And finally, the content technology level. Component technology level. And here I have mentioned the scholars whose studies I reviewed. And through my literature review, I already told you I discovered, I uncovered some research gaps. And in my study, I basically addressed the research gaps. I tried to fill in the research gaps. And you see here, through literature review, what I've got, I can show the findings of my literature review. Most of the teachers as well as the library were not really to use technology in English language teaching and learning respectively. Due to traditional and cultural ways of teaching and understanding that is used to a technology in the teachers from using technology. Because we see some senior teachers who are not that much interested in technology and they actually say different things against technology. For example, technology is time consuming. Number two, I don't like technology. And these are they have technology, but they are really now outdated. And this was 21st century talent in such people. These people are in this. This is teachers training in technology and somehow devices to enable their hearing technology.
What position is that?
Yes,
Yes, primary discipline.
4.0, a reflection of industry 4.0, I mean the fourth industrial revolution, is the use of technology to improve the physical, digital, and biological world. Insights into the use of information and communication technology, ICT, and teaching and learning, to facilitate peer education 4.0, teachers can equip themselves with economic literacy in training, operations of machines, and applications of technology. Because teachers' perception of ICT and proficiency in using it ability affect their education 4.0. But teachers' perception education technology at tertiary level remain insufficiently researched. Based on the information derived from the literature review shown above and fill up the gaps resulting from the lack of such research in the Bangladesh context, the following research questions are formulated and posed to conduct the present research. Number one research question: what is the teacher's perception of using technology in their education, both at the tertiary level? Research question two: what is the teacher's level of knowledge and skills of technology in implementing their education, both at the tertiary level? And last research question is solution association between the teacher's perception of using technology level and the proficiency in using technology in education level. And other research, I designed basic methodology, and it was a mono method research. I actually used only quantitative data, not qualitative data, and I remember research with teachers this year and like 10 universities, 3 teachers from each university. Respondents having some prior direct or indirect education through random, simple random sampling. To get data from the respondents, fact teachers, I use 2 scales. I use data branches, one for Suddenly the teachers were making a degree at section of using technology in education, and the second one is measuring teacher proficiency using technology in education. And to analyze data, I used the SPSS program module 26 version. Yeah, I've got a summary of the data including frequency percentages, standard deviations. And then I solutions like associations between exceptional and proficiency using technology in the findings of research. Using the methodology, I collected data, then I analyzed the data, and through analysis, I expected some findings. And now let me share the findings with you. How many minutes do I have? Give them the minutes remaining. Oh, less than 15 minutes. Yes, yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, number one, give them a section of English language education 4.0. It's moving. Somebody is moving. Still. Okay. To respond to the first question, you know, the first question was teacher's perception of using technology in education 4.0 at the tertiary level of education. The respondents were asked to express their opinions on 15 minor scale items having the perception of using technology in education. And we have got these responses. Most of the respondents had a positive perception of using computers or laptops. Computers, laptops have been and this opinions with you. Computers, laptops have been organized over and 2% of things. And when using computers, laptops would be something interesting, 89 subjects, and yeah, I want to mention means study computers, laptops, scale and time for 86 subjects, and laptops pretty much productive and 86%. Then, teaching with computers, laptops, was leading advantages in the environment. Computers or laptops have proved to be effective learning tools in the environment. Computers, laptops can enhance by students' learning by teachers and teachers. Computers, laptops don't ERP at all. And it's 3,000 subjects are very low. They are very comfortable with computers.
Understand.
Little lower is the majority of the subjects and positive perception of using the internet. The internet facilitates teaching and learning area at 73%. And use on the internet materials. Have used diverse YouTube materials for teaching grade 67% teachers. There are used online communication network, which is Zoom or bigger team. 70% teachers is PPT presentation like this one. Some people have 70% encourage students to use internet materials for using learning skills. Some teacher like to use learning apps and software for teaching level to see so far we have seen the subjects of teachers perception of using basically computers
Enquanto
So we are going to check your proficiency, your ability to use technology in teaching in Bangladesh context. Responding to such question, what's the teacher's level of knowledge skills of technology in implementing education 4.0 at national level? That is students ask with their opinions on things like scale items, measuring their proficiency in technology in education 4.0. The means verification the percentages that percentages of the schools in the use has included number one, using computers, laptops, when I talk intelligence skill in operating laptops, using MS Word. 89.4% using MS Compa for mistakes, repair mistakes, use like 67.6% using presentation, 69.3% teachers. Then, other means, segregations and percentages confirm that the lowest percentages of the schools in the use of technology by the very level the average teacher included number one, using the internet 46.8%, using software apps only 49.7%, using social media 7.1%, using Zoom in 41.7%, using YouTube 25.9%, using Google Classroom 39.8%. Association between teacher's perception and teacher's proficiency. Teacher's relations coefficients were started the association between the teacher's perception of using technology and the proficiency in using technology. Perception and proficiency.
Support personally.
The association was found between the teacher's perception of using technology and proficiency in using technology. Findings disclosed that there was considerably significant association between the two variables. Number one, description, and number two variable proficiency. The findings indicated that the tertiary level teachers had positive perception of using technology in English language education. Discussion of the findings. Teacher perception of English language education 4.0. Perception of using computers, laptops, and you have already got a picture, and you have to see that almost 90% teachers on average had positive perception of using computers or laptops. Teaching like gave it a touching level, but findings and support those revealed by the studies conducted by the bikes are indicated for the teachers, awareness of recipe education for how being highly dependent on the use of laptops. Also using the next of about the we lose all these things from being calibrated and it's students software apps. The findings are reduction to essential use of the internet software apps, especially during the COVID-19. Efficiency in actually used in English language education 4.0. Efficiency using computers or laptops, English programs and presentation. Almost 75% teachers and skills of using computers, laptops, MS1, and software applications. The results are in harmony with those of Brown and Roger, and algorithm and indicative of the teacher's proficiency as well, particularly during the COVID pandemic. Proficiency using the internet, social media, software, all teachers coverage acknowledge skills of using the internet, social media, and software. The results are consistent with those of Canadian and the teachers that knowledge and skills of using the internet, social media, and software because of their being involved in traditional responsibilities and projects. However, some of the teachers have knowledge and skills of using the internet and social media software acquired during the COVID-19 pandemic due to the necessity. Education and perception and provisions. That begins a significant positive association with the teacher's perception of the technology and the proficiency using the same. Those of the studies carried out by algorithm and is limited. However, present subjects lack adequate knowledge skills of using the internet, social media, and software habits. The proficiency in using them substantially contribute to their education. You see, my recommendations related to the activities. Creating awareness raising programs for the teachers of education. Awareness raising programs. Number one. Number two, training the teachers the computer literacy, including literacy and basic MS applications. Number three, training the teachers with the internet, literacy covering the use of social media and software. Facilitating peer education. Workshops, seminars for the teachers on how including the application. And then research and teaching. How to teach a practice and proficiency in ICT on local level. And here you see the conclusion of the presentation. The teacher has positive discussion of the educators so well. How majority of the teachers provisions in using computer techniques and one facility. That proficiency is in using the internet, social media, and software apps in their education. And the teachers should have training, especially using internet, social media, and software apps. Which are the advantage of their identity. And here you see the references I take them from productive study. Thank you very much for you hearing. Have you got questions? Or do you want to keep it?
Yes. The floor is open. I think if you have any questions, rules are. If we can help with the microphone.
The work you have shown us today is us that we need technology in the EFM classrooms. So we don't have enough technology in the EFM classroom. So and you have also given the recommendation to workshops in the teachers, including me. I will talk about, I will ask you, you have mentioned formal methodology. So this is quite new to me, so could you please tell us about formal methodology?
Thank you very much indeed. Actually, there are two major types of methods we use in production research. One is quantitative method, and the other is quantitative method. One we use only one that is called method.
ওই টাইটেলটা কি আমাকে দিতে পারবে? ওই টাইটেলটা কি আমাকে দিতে পারবে?
Yes.
আপনি জাস্ট বলছেন যে ফার্স্ট সেকেন্ড থার্ড চলে যেতে পারবে।
Well, nice. You have very important aspect. You have used you've taken the help of SPSS also. So I have to say here, European is more than 1.3, 1.4 standard. Some are even more than 3. It means they are not within the close ranges between mean ranges. So, use of what I think actually the use of this sort of technological help. It depends on someone like say the age inputs. The research we have carried out was it within the age limit of 50 or that was mixed within the research age limit is beyond 60 or 40 or the age limit will have a definite impact on use of technology because we see our Gen Z and the modern young teachers and faculties, they are more used to, even my own children, more used to, more expert than we using in any place of gadget, tabs and computers. And another barrier is, well, I have to say here the barriers. Another barrier is already, other speakers are already pointed out. The infrastructural services that most of the hotels and in terms of good devices. And we see the use of, especially in our engineering aspect, the use of various kinds of what should I say, liquids, and then other the phrases. So for that also, and use of various types of complicated figures. So for those types, when we are engineering, teacher will be always this is a compulsory for to use PowerPoint. But an English teacher or BBA teacher may not need at times. It depends. So in this, how do you configure or how do you evaluate the less use of computer? Is it justified or not justified?
Pretty much you have actually covered questions. First one.
My first point was the age
The age of the teacher. Yeah, actually, basically there are two variables. Two major variables here. And one is teacher's perception, and the other is teacher's proficiency in using technology. Okay. Yeah, I have conducted teacher different ages. And already mentioned this presentation there. I found that younger teachers were smarter than older teachers. I have some examples with you. I mean, one senior teacher. The senior teacher is
এটি বিল নেবে নাকি ব্যবস্থা
use different phrases like I don't like technology. I consuming. Okay. All the administration rather than we the rules of education. So, for to clarify, to respond to your first point, I conducted research with teachers of different ages, and the age will vary from 25 to 65. Then, I support your point. People are than the older people in using. Second point, experiences
Significance of your those.
Okay. Okay. Actually, I conducted a small research, and I used much technique for conducting the research. So I didn't object that calculation, the method, the data, or data source. In the future researchers, later on, and how it can be research can be made travel and use up with future researchers.
Last one was technicality involved. It's
Now, in language teaching, there is now every the educational technology, the English language teaching. And now, I think all English language teachers should have some technology. And computer literacy is basic for both teachers and in addition, a teacher should have knowledge of the different types with respect to each line. And what is wrong with each line? China. And moving English language teaching, a teacher is really reducing mistakes. I think I'm dissatisfied with my response.
thank you, sir.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
No.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you have already mentioned that some of the teachers are still not very much welcoming towards the use of technology in education. So, how can we accommodate them in education 4.0? What's your recommendation in this?
Okay, I made some recommendations. You see, first of all, we have to make some progress for raising our teachers' functions. The teachers should be made aware of the effectiveness of using technology, which is number one point. And number two point, we should arrange some training for our teachers in using those technological techniques or technological devices. And basically, I have already recommended very much specifically here conference today. I'm simply a believer based related to technology. And you have got some ideas, at least a few ideas on using technology in English language teaching. And so if we can frequently arrange webinars, workshops, technology, using technology in our English education 4.0, finding teachers will get efficient and efficient skills in and students more benefit from teaching teachers as well.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I mean, if I say, how can we change their attitude? You already mentioned that. Attitude towards the use of technology. I mean, yes, you can add some training sessions, but is that if we talk about the attitude towards that, they still
I already recommended raising programs. Different raising programs. Conducting those, arranging and conducting those programs, we can motivate our teachers. We can make our teachers in using technology. And we never happens overnight in our moment. We have to have patient, patient works, and with patients, we will do arrange and conduct such programs. So, we will get better teachers. Teachers.
thank you very much, sir.
Students, any other questions?
I don't see it. Who's speaking now?
Question?
Have you got anything else to say?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your interest in the presentation I have made, and I appreciate your patience, hearing. Wish me luck. I wish you all the very best. Assalamu alaikum. Namaskar. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Maureen Charan, sir, and for the wonderful presentation, also detailed analysis of different papers, findings, and discussion. And definitely the plenary part was like definitely very interactive. So we are moving to our next presentation, and I would like to invite Ms. Shana Sparvi, Assistant Professor English Studies, State University, Bangladesh, and PhD researcher, Bangladesh University of Professional. So she is going to present on the nexus of loss and gain in translating memory, traumatized memory, and memorized trauma in partition literature, a comparative study of that mental health.
তুমি এই জায়গায় এটি ব্যাস বুঝতে না ওকে এটাতে তুমি কি করবো
I mean, me and the president of the speakers and I would like to give special thanks to the convener of the conference and history. So I think we should start our knowledge sharing first. So today I will on nexus of loss and gain, translating memory, traumatized memory, and memorized trauma in partial literature. And it will be a comparative study of Ritik Mudra, Hassan Mandra, and Hassan Azrina. And before starting the analytical part, I'd like to start quoting fires of the fires. So I think it will be fires in June. ये रात का उजाला ये सब गली से है वो इंतजार था जिसका और ये जरूरत नहीं This sustained covered daybreak, this night between dawn, this dawn is not that dawn we prayed for. That means the dawn has been lost and the craving for gaining the loss is still alive. So, loss and gain. So, these two words, it's such two words. The whole word is bounding around two words. And in the area of translation studies, loss, compensation, and gain is a very inevitable complex phenomena that a translator faces almost in all sorts of translations, especially in interlingual translations. And the scope or proportion of loss increased, translator, language, and culture differ from the source. And we know that this is inevitable, especially in interlingual translation. But what happens when the narrator himself is the translator of his memory? Because we know that when the translator is someone who is
not actually the author, and he or she concepts from source language to target language, then the scope of having loss is actually more. But if the author is the translator of his own way, what happens? Does he or she face loss? If he or she faces loss, then can all losses be gained and compensated? Or can the loss itself be a gain? How do this loss, compensation, and gain happen in translating partition diaspora literatures? These are actually the research questions. Leave this research to the findings. And here, the source text is really the memory, and the partition diaspora literature is the target text. And the writer or the narrator himself is the translator of his memory. So, then we can just find what happens. And it's, what happens to the loss and gain, partition diaspora literature. So the research follows some steps and find two hypotheses. And we will go through this conceptual framework that is partition diaspora literature. I have selected first. Then diaspora response to partition literature, because we know partition literature and diaspora literature, these two are studied differently. But here I have a proposition that these two can be studied combined. And partition literature consists of the diasporic characteristics as well. So our findings is on the basis of that partition diaspora literature. This is a proposition on which I'm doing my PhD research actually, and I'm trying to point this down. Okay. And then we will find how memory, traumatized memory, and memorized trauma is being translated in diaspora literature. Then we will have analysis on Hunter and Hawk, and then how we will find how loss and gain happens. And through this research, I have found two findings. One is some losses are gained, except the loss of home. I mean, some losses are gained, some can never be gained. Some losses can never be gained, like the loss of home. And another very crucial finding I have found that is this seems a bit paradoxical. The finding is loss itself becomes gain. Because we know loss is how much loss we gain actually. But here I found some instances which can show that loss can compensate for loss, while loss itself becomes gain. To start that analysis, I like to clear two things, that is for partition diaspora literature and how it is a testimony of memory, traumatized memory, and memorized trauma. And that is partition diaspora literature, I have already said, this is actually a diasporic response to partition literature. And as the literary works of this type captures the plight of partition, along with all the diasporic feelings like loss of home, nostalgia, loneliness, alienation, agony, identity crisis, and fight for redefining that identity. All these diasporic characteristics are actually found in partition literature. But strangely, partition can be actually treated as a reason for the task, which is very strange. We sometimes use, but academically it is not actually recognized yet. So this is my proposition that partition diaspora literature can be a literature. And there, actually, we find that partition diaspora literature is a translation of memory. And this memory is constituted with memories, traumatic memories, that's traumatized memory. And when this memory actually retains for a long time, that haunts and that becomes memorized trauma. So how this are translated and to translate that, whether the translator, I mean the author himself faces any loss and how he has compensated that is our strategy. So I'm going to say that a loss in this example is a bit the examples of these paradoxical findings, and as I already said, which are paradoxical findings, that loss itself can be the compensation of loss. This is a bit paradoxical. I will make it proceed. And these findings are extremely the plethora of partition literature that translates feeling. Translates traumatized memory, I've already said, and loss happens to translate the loss of diaspora mind. The gain is almost unreachable at the gain of the loss of home. Because we know that when home is lost, it is actually irreparable. And in that, the loss of translation to translate such a loss that is actually loss like that loss of home. And to that this qualitative research will focus on pre-partition diaspora writers. There is a famous British author, Sadr Manto, and Hassan al-Zilha. So here, British author, Sadr Manto, and Hassan al-Zilha. These three prominent writers of Pakistan literature, they started treating diaspora souls because they were expatriated during partition in 1947. And these three, they have to migrate from their homeland to homeland. Here, he migrated from Bangladesh to India. I mean, we can listen to India. And Samarkand, he migrated from India to Pakistan. And Hassan he migrated from India to Bangladesh. So I have chosen these three writers, but I know our time is very short to show all the analysis. So I will just touch very lightly, and I will focus on reading. Okay, I will just show you that. So, Hassan, we may just start with Hassan Manto. He has written so many words which actually captures the scenario of partition, the plight of partition, and the last-rate crisis, and the feeling of hopelessness and degradation and nostalgia, all these things in this two-page scene, the shortest versus especially two-page scene, although police alert. So, if we just take the one story, there is a poetic scene, then we find that we will be able to estimate Manto's translation of aspect feeling, traumatized memory, and identity crisis there. In this story, we find that the all and harmless lunatic vision scene, and we have poetic scene that is amazing. That was the name of the place. The lunatic man, the madman, vision scene, he was so attached with his home. Poetic scene. Poetic scene was, sorry, poetic scene was his home. He was so attached that after being mad, he actually didn't forget this moment. And when the effect of partition happens, then when In India, when the decision was taken immediately that Muslims will go to Pakistan and those who are Hindus they will remain in India. This man, he is Sachi, he is place, where will be his place, where is Tobacco Sea. So he was told that Tobacco Sea becomes his name. The name of his homeland, his home becomes his name. And he is saying that where is Tobacco Sea? He is finding, he is searching. He is very utterance of vision that that translates the feeling of loneliness for home in Sanskrit language words. So this vision scene is actually the reflection mantra himself. And here, by translating this, mantra translates his own memory of losing identity, losing hope. So here he has translated this and written again, face lost much. And then I will just go to Hassan al-Zulhaq a bit, and then we will go to Victor. So Hassan al-Zulhaq, he himself wrote so many stories, among them Uttar Mari, Korvashi, Apojayati Korovigas. These are the stories which actually portray, which can be treated as a translation of historic themes of Hassan. And the rootlessness and the loss of home and the loss of identity that has been portrayed by him in this way. He is saying, he is that is, জীবনটা জীর্ণ ন্যাকড়ার মতো বাতাসে উঠছে জীবনটা জীর্ণ ন্যাকড়ার মতো বাতাসে উঠছে Life is like a worn out rag flying in the wind. So life has become rootless because he has migrated homeland. So he has successfully translated in his history. And in Mari, he is saying that চোখের বাড়িতে দূষণ হয়ে এলো দুটো পৃথিবী একটি সে ছেড়ে এলো এবং যেখানে সে আছে so two worlds become blurry in her tears the one he had left and the one he lives in. We can find this Hassan al-Zulhaq and Salman Manto. They have considered their raspberry theory in his writings. Now we will go our main focus to and we conduct like Manto survived the trauma physically, but psychologically the cultural shock was never overcome by Carter. And such the entire aura of his cinematic whether recreated by mnemonic movements or characterized by aphasia is built, engendered, and ontologically determined by factor of partition and its trauma. And so, instead, the academic to read this narrative is a properly identified ancient terminology comprising Lenin Tara, Cloud and Study, Compa Gandhar, Ashwanarekha, simply partition practices instantly unsettling. It is for the reason that the book is persistently coming up with different strategies and sometimes almost in the level of refusal. Memory, post memory, and explicit reading of the event of past. We used to say about this philosophy of cinema that filmmaking is not an historic thing to me. I consider filmmaking to start with a personal view. If a person does not have a vision to his own, he cannot create a personal experience of production. He says, I could neither accept the permission of Bengal in those days in the US nor do I today. Whatever happened in history will not alter, and I don't venture this impossible task. Cultural segregation caused by politics and economics was a key to which I never reconcile myself in the ideology discordant in terms of cultural integration. So, Lupi Kodo actually refuses or denies the cultural integration and is forcing the year after year. And we see that this trauma, this traumatic memory of partition, this trauma has haunted writers. So, after many years of partition, there have been these writings like Venkatara, like Kumara, so, I'd like to just go to some texts which we show. So we will just see that when we have whole number, if we just analyze this particular field or the story, we will find how it actually feels it.
सर जी प्रशांत जी 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 ओह या इधर मैं लैपटॉप था मैं पढ़ाई से जस्ट
I think, sorry for the technical glitches in the phrasing.
साउंड जाइतेছে না
And this, I mean, myself can narrate. Then the whole this movie is starting with a very staggering scene, with a very staggering dialogue. That is, tangent. Why will I go? Why should I leave this lovely country? My Farhadda. What should I leave? All the Oscars, why was I born on a bag on mother? This was my mother today, my own mother. This is the year where I gave water to my mother last week. So here, the character, he is not actually accepting the reason why he will leave his homeland. This is with his own memory. This is with his own feeling that he refuses to leave his homeland. So he is saying, why will I leave my mother? And we will find that this very structure, this very kind of this thing comes with this acceptance of partition. Here we will find that later Rigo and Joshua, they are recapturing their memories. They are not being able to translate their feeling of home, lots of things with words. They remaining just silent. This is my findings that while words cannot translate, science can compensate the loss. Because we think is not finding any word to translate his feeling of loss of hope. He can translate other things, identity crisis, and all these things, but we cannot actually translate this loss of hope. So here we see Urudua and Ryu, especially Urudua, she is remaining just silent. This silence is like a piano. There is no way, no hope. So the silence itself becomes the language. So let's say in the very beginning of my presentation that this is becoming a obstacle. Loss itself becomes gain. So two hypotheses that was some losses are gained here, some are not gained. And especially the feeling of loss of hope that cannot be gained. Only the loss can compensate this loss. That is, this loss of work, this is compensating the loss of hope, the risk of loss. So loss is compensating loss. And the translator is trying to translate this thing, this concept that English becomes lost to soul. So as the loss is gaining, that means gain is the gain through silence. That is the two-way reaction is here. Okay, so as my time is about to finish, I have just some of my findings that only required words cannot translate, silence translate. And silence can be a gain of loss. And really, the loss of hope cannot be compensated with words. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Nation and Sparky, for it's a very wonderful findings definitely. And for myself, it's a lot of takeaway. Where the word cannot work, the silence works the best. So we are in a big time pressure. So I would open the floor for actually 2 questions. I think she's around. So if you have more questions and would like to discuss with her in depth about this, so I think that you can communicate directly with her. So we'll be able to take 2 questions. Floor is open. Anybody?
এটা সাথে লাইভ চলতেছে
Tips, but I can't share you those tips because of some technical problems. So I'm really sorry for that. It's very wonderful feeling for me to stand with you because most of you are my students, though I'm not here now, but I'm always with you. Okay? So,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for your attention in this session. So, with this, actually, we are going to finish the presentations of the study. And I think we have before formal session of the summer, right? So, I'm handing over to the Master of Discourses today.
ছবি তো
Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of session 3. We extend our heartfelt thanks to Professor Dr. Munir Jaman and Shamus Parveen for their insightful presentation. A special thanks to Ms. Mustaqami for expertly guiding the session. Thank you so much. প্রেজেন্ট করবো না, আমি অর্ডলেসের দিকে বলবো। আর দ্বিতীয় হচ্ছে ভিডিও সাউন্ড লাগবে, ওটা সারা কিন্তু আমি দেখাতে পারবো না, আপনারা সাউন্ড চেক করুন। প্রেজেন্টেশন ইয়েটা কি এসছে কিন্তু
Sorry. না আমি এটাই বলে রাখছি আপনার নামটা বলছি দেখতে হবে সেটাও তারা তো এই কেটে রেখে দিয়েছে আমার যে কাকু সেটা তো সুস্থই আছে এটা দেখছেন সরি দিতে হবে এই যে স্যার স্যার আপনি ইমেলে যে চারটা পাঠিয়েছেন না স্যার ওইটা না
হ্যাঁ, চারটা পাঠিয়েছেন, ওই চারটা।
এই যে চারটা এইটা
তোমার ইমেলে পাঠিয়েছে।
আমার মিলে স্যার আসছে এই চারটা আসছে স্যার আসে আপনি একটু কাইন্ডলি চেক করেন স্যার ট্রেন্ডের দিলে সবচেয়ে বেশি বেটার হবে কম লাগে না স্যার হয়তো আপাতত এটা ইউজ করলাম
ফাইল পাচ্ছ না তুমি? আমি তোমাকে ফাইল দিয়ে গেলাম না, এমএমজেড এর সাথে যেটা এমএমজেড সাথে একটা যেটা ফাইল দিয়েছি। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, এটা ওপেন করো। আপু এই যে ফাইল আছে তো, আমি দিয়ে গেছি।
আমি অন
এই যে ফাইল, হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, তুমি পাচ্ছ না তো বলবো তো কথা, আমাকে তো বলবো যে কোন ফাইল।
আরেকটা ল্যাপটপ সংগ্রহ করো, যে সুধাংশ মানে একটু ভালো ল্যাপটপ।
আপু এইটাই তো ফাইল। হ্যাঁ, সবগুলো তিনটা ফাইল আছে এখানে, পুরো ফোল্ডারটা।
They can simply doing a response there. Open submission.
আপনার সাউন্ডটা মাস্ট লাগে
Number sound message.
ওকে
And I need sound. শুনতে হবে story.
সেক্ষেত্রে ম্যাম আমাকে একটু সময় দিবেন কথা আমি একটু ঠিক করে নেই আমার একটু প্রবলেম হচ্ছে সেটা
আপনি আসলে sound check
জি আমি সেটাই আপনার জাস্ট ভিডিওটা লাগবে এই তো
right.
অবস্থা হয়েছে এই জায়গাটা
এইটা ইউজ করো না, এটা সুন্দরের জন্য রেখেছে।
স্যার ওটা সমস্যা জাস্ট একটা আমি ভিডিও প্লে করার জন্য জাস্ট করতেছি কেন যে এরকম প্রবলেম করে কি সময় মতো একটু স্যার 1 মিনিট এটা চেক করবো একটা বিষয় স্যার স্টেজে বসেন
তুমি চেক করো, চেক করে
এত কিছু বলে দিতে হয় কি লেখা বলেন এগুলো কি আমি শুনলাম না একটা আমি এক কাজ করতেছি
This is shared by Professor Mark Science, Department of English, Jawaharlal University. He is a living legend in teaching profession. He professors, researchers, publishes, and presents paper on a host of areas ranging from comparative and post-colonialism. Consciousness. We look forward for an engaging and insightful discussion.
চার্জার সহ আছে 50% চার্জ আছে
And plenary speaker. May I request Professor Moshe Hussain to come up on stage and take the seat to begin the session. We are now ready to hear from our esteemed plenary speaker, Ms. Muslim. She will be presenting on cultural tapestry, weaving stories for diversity and social cohesion. I'd like to request Ms. Nusrat Amin, please come up on stage.
আপনার পিপিটি নিয়ে কোনো সমস্যা নেই ভয় পেয়েছিলাম একটু ভিডিওটা নিয়ে
ভিডিওটা ভয় পেলে হবে না, আই নিড দ্য ভিডিও অ্যাকচুয়ালি।
ঠিক আমার সাথে আমরা আছি
বাইন্ড করতে হবে, এটা লাইক অ্যাকচুয়াল। রেডি হয়ে যাক, আমি ওখানে যাওয়ার পরে যাতে আনপ্লিজিং কিছু না হয় আর কি।
আপনি জাস্ট যখন আমাকে ভিডিও চালাবেন জাস্ট আমাকে নক করবেন যে
হ্যাঁ আমি বলেই নিব যে ভিডিও।
আপনি কি ফার্স্ট নাম?
হ্যাঁ আমি
এটা দিয়ে মাউস টুল
The plenary section.
To this session. This session is supposed to have 3 speakers, but we have 1 speaker. So that is it's a good sign for Mr. Amit that she can have some extra minutes. We regret that if you are able. So I'm Mr. Hussain, I'm chairing this session. Mr. Amit is Head of Communications and Public Engagement at UNESCO, and today she is making a presentation on storytelling. We understand that storytelling has been an important tool and mechanism, particularly in events of when they need to share more experiences and learn from the other. So we expect that Nusrat Amit's presentation on cultural tapestry, leading stories for diversity and social cohesion, will add more insight to our understanding. So let us invite Nusrat Amit for her presentation. Nusrat, we will have 30 minutes.
So I'm not going behind the dais. So I think I'm more visible in front of that. So that's why. So it is like sharing. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. So welcome everyone and good morning. How are you all? So my paper is about storytelling. So very naturally it will be a bit different than any other structured paper and the presentation we were seeing or you will be seeing throughout this conference. So I will try to focus more on the stories and how actually the storytelling actually contributed to relating towards the social cohesion and reaching the cultural diversities and united different multicultural communities and contribute to the social development. My paper is about the cultural tapestry with studies for diversity and social cohesion. this is working. Okay. So just to start with a bit introduction. Okay. So what this study actually investigating? This study investigates storytelling as an innovative approach to fostering social cohesion and promoting cultural diversity within multicultural. By analyzing the impacts of shared narrative from diverse cultural backgrounds, the study seeks to bridge differences and contribute to a more inclusive, empathetic society united for social development. So there are few struggles here or like issues here which needs a bit clarification. So when we are talking about the social cohesion, so for this, actually I consider mostly on the mutual respect of different people from multicultural background in a society. And also their shared experience, their shared feeling, their mutual understanding, and the challenge they are sharing with each other, and also the out for their the solutions they are looking for. And through this united approach, how they are actually contributing, knowing each other, and reaching with each other with their culture, their age, their diversity, and everything, and contributing towards a society where it's based on like development and justice. In terms of cultural diversity, I think I already covered that. People are from different multicultural background, and it's not only it's like international level, but also into our national. A lot of people are coming from different cultural backgrounds, race, and at the same time, gender diversity, ages. So when you are telling that the bridging the differences and contribute to more inclusive and empathetic society, so of course we understand that more inclusive is a more connected. We are considering people of all the sexes and all the phases of the life and the society and how they are. And social development definitely a bigger aspect. So throughout the stories, when we walk through the stories, we will get to see actually the different dynamics of social development and how all these people are contributing together for that. So what's the rationale? Why this study? First thing is that it's not known to everyone that we are in the age of globalization. And especially we are actually at this moment we are going through different blending of different generations, right? So not only the generation of 80s, 90s, and at the same time now we're talking a lot about Gen Z. We're talking a lot about Z. So we can see that the cultural diversity is like increasing in a wide scale. And people are coming from different background and different age group, different generation, different thought process. So it is very important that we know about each other, how we are thinking, how we have different lenses, and where is the aligning factors, how we can integrate all our understanding, thinking, some lens together, so that we all can contribute to a large scale social development. So it's like global and national aspect, everything. So in my study, I tried to look into that. For this unity, for this collaboration, for this integration, or joining hands together, storytelling can be a very powerful tool in a way because storytelling is actually sharing the relatable human experiences. For example, a lot of people are sitting in this auditorium, right? We don't know each other. So once, it's like for me, if I'm standing there and I've started sharing some of my own experiences and my own learning and my own stories, I can be quite sure that 50% of the people will relate that story. They will think like that, oh, I had the same experience, I went through the same path, I have the same learning in my life. So this is how actually storytelling connects and come up with a narration which we can connect with our own experiences. At the same time, it helps us to understand and respect each other's unique backgrounds. Celebrate individual experiences and traditions. Foster strong sense of unity, what I was just telling, and cross-cultural understanding, reinforcing a social fabric. And at the same time, storytelling is a tool where actually can bridge the gap, and this is that there actually this gap lies here. The study explored how storytelling can reduce social divides and contribute to social development, as I told. So it's just a quick methodology. Actually, I will be presenting three different stories and three different projects where you will get to know about the different methodology we applied in that. So it's an overall strategy. Methodology was that it's through a qualitative approach and using first-hand example of different implemented projects. The three of the projects what I will be sharing all the stories. So I was in person involved with that in the designing and implementation phase. So I'll be sharing actually mostly the field experiences, what we got from there and how we work on them. So who was involved? The participants include people from diverse culture, ethnic and social background. The data collection methodology was the case studies from community storytelling project and interviewing the people who were involved in that process. And the analytical tool, I am not going for a long framework there. So I actually try to look into the interdisciplinary framework from cultural studies, sociology, different forms of storytelling, and narrative theory. So I'm now going directly to the stories. The first story is called The People of Many Rivers. So I will take you back in 2015. So it was a project of Actually. As I said, at that time I was working for Actually. I think you know about it. It's an international organization. So actually back in 2013, actually came up with a multinational project. It's called Transboundary River Water Governance. So actually try to look into that the people who are, or the countries who are sharing different river boundaries, like Bangladesh, India, Nepal. So how these river boundaries actually affecting the different communities residing beside the river areas, and how different policies and the treaties of the government of like inter-country governments is affecting the life and livelihoods of those people. And at the same time, they came up with like a focus that they are going to do at regional and national level advocacy. And that what are the initiative and steps should come as part of this treaty so that the people residing in the urban areas can really have a life with justice, with a positive impact, and at the same time a life of safety and security. So this is kind of my background. I'm not going in the detail of that. So this storytelling format was a oral history collection. So you know, as part of the oral, there are lots of form of storytelling, and oral history is a very particular format of that. So we collected all these stories from 10 universe to the 4 districts in Rakshani, Patna, Kurigram, and Lalmonihar. All of these areas you know is the Jordan. It's very, very near to the river banks. So interviews were conducted with river bank dwellers near the Indo-Bangladesh border, and further from the border to explore the variations. So we went to the very, very river bank areas and also from a bit with the side from the river bank part. So this book is like a first publication, and I think it was my first publication, and it's been published from the University Press Limited. So in this book, you will get to see 26 oral histories or stories, and there are lots of, it's like around 10 interviewers there who were done that. I have 3 stories. So this book actually look into the complex river system in South Asia and how they connect people, culture, and communities. It highlights the social, political, and environmental issues these communities are facing. And it also supports the inclusive decision making and encourages community to participate and work together across the border. It ensures that the shared water resource will benefit everyone, and especially marginalized and vulnerable groups. So actually, as I told, it was a multi-country storytelling project. So we were living from the Bangladesh part, but at the same time, this project happened in Nepal and India. So we tried to see the commonalities, what they are facing, and what's like the people who are residing in Bangladesh, the challenges they are facing, their hope, their dreams, their needs, and also their demand is coming up, is whether it's similar to the people residing in India and Nepal is not. So I just want to there's 26 stories I've got, just so as the themes of the story. So you have seen that Rose Abigo, she was in Ramanihar, and she was a mother and residing in Eastern, and her story was that. So I will just highlight some quotes. So she was saying that our lives are not secure even after death. How can we expect a secure life while alive? We have lost house 27 times. My mother died 6 months ago. We buried her beside our house and the river took her grave too. So this was the harsh reality of her life. So when you see this story is telling a lot about their desperation and their sorrow, their agony. At the same time, we can see the story of hope. So Abdul, he keeps saying the better of the life is basic. So he is like completely handed him over to the Almighty, the fortune. And he was saying, in our ancestral land arises out of river, and we will be able to live on it again. If you have land in this river, it will rise someday, and you can take it away from us. So he was kind of the last phase of life. And throughout his life, he actually struggled with this river erosion, but at the same time, he's still living in the hope that one day these events will come up, and then we'll be able to survive on that. If you look into these stories, these are interesting stories. So if you listen to the title, Living on Secret Shell. So her name is Sophia, and she was actually, her husband was a fisherman, and due to the way I visited this place, at that time, the entire area was affected by flash flood and river erosion, so they had lost everything. And the entire community, they live on the, it's like there is, you know about the company Amish Group, right? So they have like cigarette or beanie factories in the northern zone, sour areas. The entire community is living on that. They are making cigarette rolls or cigarette shell. So when I asked Sakima that why not depending on the river? You can go for cultivation, you can go for like fisheries. So why you are doing this? It is not healthy at all. She was saying our lands have been swallowed by river. We can't afford fishing boats and nets. And we don't get much fish in the river like we used to in the past. So it's impossible to live by fishing. Cigarette rolls are the only way to survive. Companies fail as well. So this story actually came up with the how as they are using their indigenous profession. So how this has been replaced by different type of capitalist companies, and also they are losing and they are changing. They are bound to change their life and livelihood and their also migration. The last part is like is Arundo's name. He is a poacher, and he, being a poacher, he requested that please advocate for us so that we can get access to the Kashlan. I think we all know about the government property, the Kashlan. Next to the river, we need it more than anyone else. So they are still looking for a hope to change their life. So when we going through all these stories, so as a common factor what goes with the 226 stories, it's like that. How is bringing the cultural diversity, bringing social cohesion. So all these stories are about culture and social dimension. First thing is that. All these stories about the shared water resources, how we are sharing and living on that. This one is about conflict and cooperation. At the same time, it's about the community empowerment. No matter what they are facing, no matter what challenge is coming up, they are still trying to live on their own. They have what we are calling it the power in people. They have the power to survive themselves. Of course, sustainable development, because I'm talking about the social development, social cohesion is a bigger part of sustainable development. And you'll get to see, if you go through this book, you will see that all the stories about faith, resilience, resistance, common challenges, and desire for solution. So these are like a common factor in the three of the countries where we conducted this study and the storytelling process. And based on that, currently, actually is running actually an international, and it's a global transboundary water governance project. They have a wonderful water museum in Portugal, and this storytelling project actually all started and now is going for a big scale of social development and also contributing to the people who are residing. And also at this moment they are doing a policy development. So this is about like I think another story. It's about a Rohingya refugee inside the Rohingya refugee camps of Bangladesh. So this is an audio-visual format. I am not going to explain a lot about this. I would like to show a video. Anybody want to play the video? So I think the video will be very self-explanatory. I have 5 minutes. I think we need to be a bit quick on that. So the self-explanatory. Let's watch this. It's on 5 minutes, or I think I will request 1 more minute to complete that, and then so this previous video start. I just want to give one background. So this was the first video documentary that she came to Yeah. So this video this is the first video documentary on Rohingya refugees published globally in 2018, immediately after the Rohingya people started coming out, many floods happened. And it was of the global importance in a way. At that time, there are a lot of negative narrative about the Rohingyas, and people are not aware about their situation, their context there. So this story was actually prepared by the Irish Time and Concern Worldwide together. So this story actually helps a lot to the global community to bring a lot of funding for the Rohingya people, and also like a lot of contribution from the local and national level. So this was kind of the background. It's also about bridging the language. So we asked her why she came to Bangladesh. Because we didn't have any other way. We saw so many people to be killed in front of our eyes, and sometimes the Myanmar Army also slaughtered the people. One of my grandchild, she was in shock, and all our houses burned. They were kidnapping the young girls, and they raped the girls. So that's why we decided. In our village, one of our religious leaders, he was very popular there. The Myanmar Army attacked his home, and so he just got to flee from home and just hide in some place. His wife, she started living alone. One of the Myanmar Army just entered the house and raped the woman. After that, several other candidates. And now that the mind is totally traumatized, we just we have lost all senses. She didn't have to memory. Details in one have any part of it, and in September 2017, the food crisis was huge. They actually made people they don't have clothes to wear because they just came in whatever they were wearing. They were so scared. They were working for days, some are for 15 days, 20 days. They are exhausted, they are afraid, they're traumatized. The 9 months ago, this area used to be an elephant reservation forest. But after the flood happened and thousands of people started dying. So Bangladesh need to accommodate them. And what we did, we repaired all the trees. And the people who are living in suffering from excessive heat, the monsoon season is also going on. People are also suffering from different diseases here, like diphtheria and cholera. There is high need of contamination. And the children, when they came from very young, now we found them in a very severe malnutrition. Okay, so I'm not actually playing the entire video. If you are interested, I'm happy to share the link. I will be sharing this with Mahmoud sir also. So you can take it. You will get it in my LinkedIn, also in the Irish Time website. Due to the time constraint, I'm not doing that. It will go back to the slide fail. Excuse me. Yes. So actually, no, back. Actually, from this story, we try to see that the deep emotional insight of human is bigger. And when we are in a kind of refugee situation, everybody has the same feeling. Everybody means the whole in the same way. So no matter where do they live and belong, so all need the support from different people, the emotional support, the social support, and also definitely the financial one if you're talking about that. And this story actually contributed to a deeper understanding of the cultural and social dynamic place in a refugee situation, and bring attention to the deep and valid faced by the aid workers, refugee, and local communities mostly towards them. And last thing, just a quick forest slide. very quick in 30 seconds, I'm going to say currently from UNESCO we are just implementing this project. It's called Book Therapy. It's a storytelling project from the Chakma and Tripura communities. So we are writing 16 stories with the Chakma and Tripura youth, and they are writing all these stories based on action research, and they are coming up with the stories of peace and how they can deal the conflict, and at the same time how they can contribute as a Bangladeshi citizen. So they don't belong to any indigenous community, but they are bigger identity, they are the citizen of Bangladesh. And at the same time, this process is addressing another factor, which is the translation. So we see when there is a cultural differences, translation plays a greater role there to bring all the emotions together. I think the last presentation was also on that, the loss of game. So it's about that cultural process. We are translating it in Bangla, English, Chakma language and Tripura language. So I think the book is going to be published very soon. It will be published by publication also. It will be also available in the market. So very quickly, if I say all these people who are the part of this project, so the findings for discussion is like that. The storytelling showcases the beauty of diversity, strength, community bonds by building empathy, inclusion, and shared understanding. The real example we have shown actually show the how storytelling encourages open dialogue, reduce the privileges, promote cooperation across the culture, and also how storytelling as a practical can use as a practical tool to build social cohesion and inclusion in diverse communities. And last is that how the storytelling bring together different cultures into a unified whole, creating a new inclusive and connected world ultimately for social development. So I just tried to make aware of the storytelling, cultural studies, and of course my sector, development and humanitarian communications together. I think it's a very quick presentation. If you're really interested about that, we can share more on this. So if you take questions, I would like to. Yeah, here you are. The presentation is here. Yeah, thank you.
For this nice presentation, it should have been longer, but I think 20 minutes are good enough for getting an understanding of it. And we are going to have another online session in, say, 5 minutes. So just quickly, that is, if you have any question, observation on the presentations. I know one. I mean, in the abstract, it says that storytelling is a scalable tool. Just in one or two sentences, I know it's a methodological question. That is, how is storytelling scalable?
Thank you so much, sir. The first thing is that all these actually projects I shared, so it started as a pilot project. And then we scaled it up because we really assess the impact, how the goal we are trying to achieve through the storytelling, bringing the with each other is actually contributing to both. Yes. Yes. So we expect that how the storytelling is scalable. So if we can connect these from a very local level to national, regional, and global level, and the storytelling actually can convey the very remotest corner of the people, not like a culture in the society were there. So both there actually the scaling up of storytelling is coming up, and it could be like a huge scale of 100 research and project, how we can do that. Lots of discussion, consultation, and story writing, capacity, workshop, training, and at the same time, story writing skills can be the kind of details of study and research service.
Okay, thank you. So, there's no question. So, just to summarize, you understand that there are three kinds of storytelling. Charge of it, that is.
স্যার চার্জ আছে স্যার আপনি সে কতক্ষণ 1 ঘন্টা হবে না স্যার হ্যাঁ সমস্যা নেই আপনি 1 ঘন্টা চালাইতে পারবেন ইজি আমি তো স্যার সুজান ম্যাম ওটা একটু টেনশনে আছি স্যার
This is and it's also interesting that three different types of marginal address in this presentation. So therefore it gives us a little bit extensive Study is to checking. So thank you so much for this exciting. As she said, you can always reach her through your qualification things. You can also reach her. What I do the presentation, if you find the presentation interesting. So let us close this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
ওই যে তামান্না
কি করে নেব?
এখনই
হ্যাঁ, বারোটাই
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
টাইমলি করো।
এটা কি লাইভ দেখাইতে হবে?
দর্শক দেখি না?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ দর্শকের আচ্ছা বুঝতে পারছি।
এইটাই তো মেইন, এটা প্রজেক্টটা।
Okay, 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 sir. Okay, I am doing something. But will connect this. A laptop का pila.
For her amazing presentations and Master Sheikh Star to guide us. Ladies and gentlemen, we will start plenary session 7 at 12. During that time, the parallel sessions will take place in 3 different rooms. Please take note the following details. In room 419, the session is chaired by Mr. Ariful Islam Lashkar, and the idea of the paper which will be presented here are 9.08, 9.31, 10.45, 10.49, 10.54, 10.55, 10.57. In room
ঠিক আছে জাস্ট ড্রপ না করে আমার ফ্রেন্ড সবাই ঠিক আছে
9.15, 2.51, 2.59. In room 209, the session started by Chinese Party and Harvey of the paper which will be here 9.09, 9.14, 9.18, 10.72. We kindly request all presenters to locate their respective rooms using their paper ID. Thank you.
স্যার কানেক্ট দিস এটা খোলা এটা খুলে একটু সময় দেখা হয়েছে হ্যাঁ এটা ঢুকাও হ্যাঁ আমার নাম পাসওয়ার্ড পাসওয়ার্ড প্লিজ আমার হেডফোন কি স্যার এখন নিবেন স্যার আপনি স্যার
কি করছো? বলছি 12টা, বারবার বাংলা 12টা।
স্যার একটা সেকেন্ড
ফিট করে দিয়েছো।
জি জি জি
মঞ্চে দাও। আর এটা লাইভ আছে তো বলতে ইউটিউবের জন্যই থাকে। করে দিত না 12টার সময় যে সেশন মানে স্টুডেন্টও বুঝে টিচার
জয়েন করলো করে দেন আমার ফোনটা দেন ফোনটা খুলে নিন জি ম্যাম আমি সব করে দিচ্ছি না তাও আপনি একটু থাকেন ম্যাম একটু সেশন আছে Sure. ফোনটা কো আসছে না এখনো হচ্ছে না সবই ঠিক আছে স্যার
Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. And a very good afternoon to you all.
Morning, dear friend.
Good morning. Hello, Dr. Nitesha. Hello, Dr. Shankar. How are you all?
We are fine. I'm fine.
Am I audible to you all?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. So let's start the session. And for this, I would like to request Professor Mashrur Shahid Hussain. He's a senior professor of Jahangir University, Department of English. So I'm giving the floor to Dr. Mashrur Shahid Hussain, sir. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you.
Masroor, you seem frozen. I think you are frozen. Can you hear me? Can you hear me,
now
Masroor?
yes, they're just waiting for the video connection.
Your voice is severely echoing, actually. You know,
Yes.
rendering you almost unintelligible. So,
As if we are in the Marabar caves.
Okay. Now I think it's fine.
echoes.
The terrible echo of Marabar caves, as described by Foster in A Passage to India.
I also get the impression that we do not simply use technology, but technology also uses us. So that's an example here, you know. There is Baudrillard's famous pronouncement on the ways the technological functions, actually, unsettling the conventional subject-object relationship here. So.
It's unstable sound that operates.
Is this the first session, though? Is this the first one today? I mean, is it?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, good morning. Yeah. Yeah, is the sound still echoing?
Masroor, I'm
Yes,
suggestion. Can you hear me, Masroor? Can you hear me?
Yes, let me be very brief. So, good morning and good evening. Let us start this hybrid session. We have 4 speakers. We have Professor Asper Hussain,
fresh from USA, and 3 speakers from India. This is going to be an exciting event. Now, I would like to request Professor Dr. Asfar Hussain to start his presentation. Just as a kind of soft signal that we'll have 30 minutes for your presentation, and I may give